Welcome to Abrar Electrical World. This is about my videos which I am making for the education of the do-it-yourself electrical works. This series will help you in deciding and negotiating the price of the apartment. So, because the electrical works, any change in the electric work is going to cost you few $1,000s, maybe 10,000 and $20,000 in some cases. See, if you have a small change, you cannot do a complete rewiring. If it is an old house, normally they do the cosmetics and they change the outlets and the switches, things like that, and you think that everything is okay. But when you really buy it and when you go through it, you can see always there is a lot of violations of the codes. And if it is now your responsibility because you have purchased your house. Plus, if you are living and owning a house, then if you do things yourself, then you are going to save hundreds and thousands of dollars in terms of the electrical installation, like changing the receptacles, changing the circuit breaker, installing the light or the switches. Small works you can always do, and that will take only material cost, which is very low. You know, in Canada and North America, the material cost is hardly 10% of the charges which the election cost. Suppose electrician is charging you $100 for changing outlet. The cost of the outlet would be hardly $2 or $3 or $4, but he will charge you $100. So the cost of the labor in those countries are very high. Therefore, they encourage the DIY. For the DIY, don't be afraid. Even for the electrical works, you don't need a license until the only requirement is that you must live in that house. And for your precaution, it is essential that you must be some level of electricity literate. You must know the codes, or you must be able to refer to the code when you are doing some work, and there is no problem. The codes are always available on the net, the part, or you can consult anyone, and then you can go to the market. And you know, the Home Depot and the things like that, they also offer the training programs free of charge, so you can also attend those. So I would strongly recommend that you must DIY, do it yourself electrical works as well, because they are not very difficult. They are less laborious as compared to the plumbing work. Plumbing work needs a lot of mechanical force and energy, and the environment is not good. So everyone cannot do. But this kind of electrical works, even the women, they do the electrical work themselves. So therefore, I have started the series for the DIY of electrical works, and I have uploaded certain videos. I have uploaded video about the Ontario hydroelectricity bill. That is also very important that you understand your bill, and you can save the energy by switching from TOU to the tiered kind of customer category. It is allowed anytime you can do that by filling an application form on hydro1.com/customer choice. So there are a lot of facilities available in those countries as Canada and America, and you must avail such facilities. You can buy the books on the DYU electrical works, Black and Decker series, and other things. And remember that the codes between North America and the Canada are not much different. They are 100%, if not, then they are 99.5% similar. So you must also know the Canadian electric code a bit, which are relevant when you are doing the job. Plus, you must be electricity literate. Plus, you should observe all the safety measure. Use the insulation kind of electrical grade gloves. You must use the electrical grade pliers and the cutters, etc. I mean the tools. You must have some kind of a small tester. How can you test whether which one is the hot wire, which is not the hot wire, which is neutral? You must know the identification of the cables, that the color of the even cable jacket will tell you. The jacket means the overall cable covering, in which you will find two or three wires. So even by looking at the covering, you can find out that what will be the rating of the cable, etc. Even the gauge of the wire. I will also tell you some of the tips that how can you find out the size of the wire without having a, gauge instrument with you. You can find the wire size of the wire. I will tell you the trick as well. I have worked in North America on those projects, and myself, I had worked in a company in New York, Queens, where I was working with a company who was doing the installation work of the civil, electrical, mechanical in multi-story high-riser in Jackson Heights, Queens, and Brooklyn. So all my information is not bookish. I have the personal experience of working at my home there, changing the switches, installing the. I have done the complete wiring of the house. I know that what are the instruments to be used and how can you install the switches, the receptacle, the outlets, and everything. You must know what is the GFCI, what is AFCI, what are the mandatory requirements from the Canadian Electric Code. There have been changes over the years. So if you are buying a house which is 30, 40 years old, they will do some cosmetics and they will change the receptacles. They will look like the GFCI receptacles for the protection in the wet area. But actually, when you open the outlet after switching off the electricity, you will find that that was the fake one. And there is some illegal work has been done inside the GFCI. So you must know what is the GFCI, what is the AFCI, what is the combo of these two. And there are some easy ways. You can always go and find the costing on the Amazon.com, or you can go to any other site and you can visit the Home Depot there, or you can visit the Tire Canada and various other big shops where you can look at the equipment and the tools, everything. You can always rent the heavy tool if you like. So there are many things you can do yourself. Don't hesitate. You don't need a license. You must be a literate person. You must be confident. You must follow all the safety rules and regulations yourself. You must use proper tools. So then you will be able to save few hundred or few thousand of dollars in a month by installing your ranges, by installing your. And one thing problem I have noticed, my friend told me, if they connect microwave in a room, and the other guy is also connecting a microwave or using some kind of heater in the winter season, then the circuit breaker trips in the main control panel or the main panel board. So if you buy this kind of a house, so see what is going to be with you after you have already bought the house, you will be in trouble. So you have to find out these things before you are buying a house. And plus, fire is one of the very important aspect. You must look into the all those receptacles and the breakers, whether they are covering all kind of hazards like the earth fault or the wet area protection system, and especially the children protection system, like whether they have the tamper resistant kind of sockets which are now mandatory, and for the sockets which are 1.5 something like that feet above the floor. I will tell you exactly from the code when I come to that in my video lecture. This is an introductory kind of a lecture, just because I wanted to remind you that don't think that you don't want to be an electrician. This is not aimed at being an electrician. It is aimed at the do it yourself and save your money and increase your negotiating power while buying a house. This is very important kind of series. So please, all my friends, relatives who are students who are in Canada, because the majority of the engineers and the doctors and the scientists and the teachers are migrating to Canada. So they come across such thing, they must learn all these aspects of the electricity. Thank you very much.